All right, let's go into a bit more of the other guys who are a bit more long shots. A couple of more rumor-based players, technically up for trade. The next one I want to talk about is a guard. We'll get away from the big guys. It's Lonzo Ball, who a few weeks ago was apparently they were actively shopping him, trying to get a deal going. A few different places have put their hands up. I've got a few ideas of where I want him to end up, but I'll throw it up to you first, Cal. Where do you think is a good option for Lonzo Ball to end up?
Well, I've got a couple trades prepared.
All
So
right, hit me.
let me throw this one at you.
Yeah.
I would love to see this happen, as I'm sure LeVar would in
Oh,
Lonzo Ball to the Hornets trade.
oh wow, this would
So
be crazy.
wouldn't you love to see the Ball Boys together? The way they push that ball, I think it would be like, I mean, the Hornets are already like my favorite team to watch in the NBA.
Well,
If
well, I
Lonzo was
think
there, that'd be such a good fit.
well, I think we'd actually have to, like, as a podcast, support this team because they literally be the Ball Boys. Like
The
this
Ball
would have to
Boys.
be the podcast team. So I'd be all for it. We'd have a podcast team. We'd follow. I'd love it.
All right, so hear me out. I've got Lonzo Ball obviously getting traded to the Hornets in a package
Yep.
for Malik Monk and Devontae Graham. The
Okay.
the salaries do work, and then
Yeah.
I guess if you are New Orleans, you kind of just want 3-point shooters to spread around Brendan Ingram and Zion to work.
Yeah.
So Malik Monk and Devontae Graham are like, Devontae pretty much is a spot up 3 shooter,
Yeah.
who can also handle the ball, obviously. Malik Monk's, heat check player, can come off the bench. They both have a bit of upside too. They're both pretty young. So I can see that happening. And then in terms of the Hornets' favor, you can still play the lineup with Lamelo, Lonzo, and Rozier, because you like Lonzo can guard threes
They're
in
all
this day
big.
and age.
Yeah.
So you have 1, 2, 3, Gordon Hayward at the 4, and then I guess you have Cody Zeller at the 5. So I think that's a pretty reasonable starting 5. It'd be fun to watch.
Oh,
Yeah.
it'd be a very exciting team. I would love to watch that team. Look, I'm still a big fan of Lonzo. He was on our My Guys segment before the season started. I think he's still a great player. So it surprises me to keep seeing his name come up in trade rumors. Apparently, the Pelicans want to give more minutes to Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Kira Lewis, who are both, they're good, young, talented players. But I don't know. I feel like they're giving up on him a bit too quickly here. And I feel like he actually works well with Zion. I feel like he's in 3-point shooting has improved tremendously. He's very accurate from there. His shot mechanics look a lot better. He's a decent defender. And he's still a good facilitator. He's still good at, throwing those like full court passes to Zion. He's good at sort of pushing the ball up, pushing the pace, which they like to do. So I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what they value him doing. If I'm Charlotte, I'd make that trade 10 times out of 10. If I'm New Orleans, I think I could probably get something a bit more for him. Like, I don't know. Maybe it depends on what you think of Devontae Graham. I think he's destined to be a sixth man kind of player, which might work for these guys if they want to get, Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Kyrus Lewis to be their like starters. So maybe if you attached a pick onto that, or like, a first round or a couple of second round picks onto that, I might bite. But I still really value Lonzo. Do you still think he's a good player, or like, what are your thoughts on him? I know I'm pretty high.
Yeah, like, well, me personally, if I think New Orleans should play it out a bit longer, because him and Zion, I think, do fit. They've had some great kind of like, from the 3-point line alley-oop plays already.
Yeah.
And I feel like the chemistry is just going to rise. It's just one of those things that takes a bit of time with some players, and I think they can fit together. So I would give it more time personally, unless you got like some crazy offer. But I would be honestly actively just trying to get rid of Bledsoe. He's a waste of space. If you want time for your young guys, get rid of Bledsoe. He's the only annoying thing is it's a pretty big contract, so it's pretty hard to find a suitor.
So the thing is there, Bledsoe's contract obviously is the issue. And also I think Lonzo Ball's in a contract year. So at the end of this year, I think he's up for, this is the end of his rookie contract. So I believe he is up for a payday. I think they declined to give him an extension. Or they gave him one, but he thought he could get more on the market. So potentially this is the reason that they're looking to trade him, because they're not willing to pay him potentially what other teams are going to want to pay him. So potentially they're just trying to get something rather than nothing. So I don't know. I'll throw some other teams out there. One of the most heavily rumored team that's been linked to him is the Chicago Bulls, which I think is interesting in itself. That sort of tells me that potentially they don't like what they have in Kobe White, which I have heard some rumors about, and actually led me to trading him in a dynasty league um, to get a bit of value before the other owners caught on. He potentially might be a bit more of a six-man kind of role. But I'm not sure what Chicago would be giving up. Like, are they giving up? Who are they giving up? Like Patrick Williams? I don't think they would do that. Maybe it's just like
I think he's untouchable
yeah. Is it like
at this
Otto
point.
Porter or like who are they giving up? Like they wouldn't give up Zach LaVine. Are they going to trade Kobe White? I think the idea is they want to keep all three of those guards. So I'm not. Maybe it's Wendell Carter Jr. Apparently they're not as high on him as others. I think that might be if I could get a Lonzo Ball for Wendell Carter Jr. swap, I would definitely do that if I'm the Pelicans. So if that's on the table, I would take that. Another team that I want to throw out there is Orlando, because I think you get him paired with Markel Fultz next year. Two players who got drafted ahead of Jason Tatum. I think that could be a really fun team. I think those two can play together because obviously Markel Fultz doesn't space the floor. Lonzo does. Lonzo's a bit bigger. He can guard the twos. Fultz is long as well. You've got some good defense on the perimeter. I think that's a fun young team, and it sort of fits their timeline, I think. So I like the idea. I think Orlando should get involved in this. But I'm a big fan of Lonzo, so I think a lot of teams should get involved.
Yeah, I like the Orlando because they need a point guard with Fultz down.
Yeah.
Injuries. We know COVID. It's not a good season to have, some of your core players gone for the whole season. So maybe Alonzo Ball for like maybe an Evan Fournier. New Orleans could use always 3-point shoot and then maybe attach some picks to it. I'm sure the salaries will work like that. How many, let's say it was a straight Lonzo Ball for Evan Fournier. How many picks would you have to attach? 2? A first and a second?
I don't know.
Matching picks should be worth a lot.
Yeah, I think a first gets it done. I think that's a trade that they would accept. I don't know if Orlando would do that. I think they're probably in the mode where they might realize that they're probably not going to make the playoffs this year. And they might look towards a bit more of a rebuild. They're sitting 12th in the East right now. I don't think they're going to catch any of the teams above them. So I think they might start to look to sort of rebuild a bit more or get some draft assets. So I don't know if they do that. I think they would want to maybe send some players or at least second round draft picks back instead. So who knows?